So next up we have Joe Blaney joining us, talking about EdTech at the Royal Kent School. And ready to go.
So sorry, I'm reading from a script, so I don't want to go over my 7 minutes. Hello, my name's Joe Blaney, and I work in a Year 6 class in a one-form entry school called the Royal Kent School. My presentation today is about how children in my class embrace technology in a particular learning engagement. I wanted to understand through pupil voice if I needed to adjust our working wall displays to promote learning and raise attainment. I formerly worked in the IB, and this experience totally opened my eyes as to whether I was actually a good teacher or just a good lecturer delivering fact after fact. This experience really taught me how to listen to children, and as a result I became a better teacher because I had a deeper connection to my children's needs. I also learned in the IB that my benefits of developing my pedagogy along with the effective use of technology. In the IB, display boards in the classroom focus on helping children develop and acquire skills in a flowing, balanced and moving curriculum. The displays are not static and are not used to show children's progress as they learn skills through an inquiry-based approach. Today, for me, the national curriculum is heavily focused on the need for children to learn and memorise multiple facts rather than understanding concepts and skills. I feel that my current display boards are used to help support this memorisation of facts, but is this really best practice? Working walls in my classroom are used to support children's learning, but a question I keep asking myself is, are these working walls constructed to help teachers meet school policies on display, whilst at the same time bombard children with facts and vocabulary in the hope that they can develop the children as learners? Surely best practice when using display in the classroom needs to give children the tools to be reflective on their understanding and where their learning needs to go next. I felt that to find an answer to my question, I would need to embrace technology and use a thinking routine. This would be far more beneficial to answer my thoughts than having a class discussion. For me to create best practice in my classroom, I wanted to understand the view of every single learner. I did not want individual opinions to be skewed from the influences of other children in a class debate. I decided to use a thinking routine called Compass Points, developed by Richard, Church and Morrison, supported by the technology software by Unio Harness. I created slides of images of my working walls with the thinking routine beside it. Compass Points enables groups of learners to consider ideas, propositions or questions from different angles. The proposition set allowed the children to explore issues from multiple perspectives and enables children not to rush into judgment. It allows children to know what he or she needs to know and then develop suggestions to move forward. The proposition to my children was, do our learning walls actually help you to learn? The whole process could have been done with a worksheet and to stare at the walls of the classroom course, but I thought the use of technology would make the children feel more inclusive in this process. I created 2 learning engagements to promote pupil voice. One of those that could be read well, as you can see here, and the children's responses were entered below, and a presentation where I verbalised the questions and the children could verbalise back their responses. This was to help my SEN children. In a similar slide to this, an SEN child responded, "Mr. Blaney, you need to use drawing pins rather than the blue tack to stop the spellings of the week falling off." And this was this bit here. I thought that was a valid point and well observed. In this slide though, you can actually see the thinking routine and the technology working really well together to create some organised and valid responses to my proposition. Do these working walls work? The next slide is very valuable to me. The display board obviously enthuses the child by the colour, as you can see from the east response down here. But the fact is, the display is not helping her to learn, as she clearly wants to progress independently. She also wants to know the next steps in her learning, and not just the current focus. This display is arguably not a working wall, but just a display wall that could have been seen in a classroom in pre-working wall days. But what I've learned is that the working walls are what the children want to see, rather than a classic display showing just children's work. I need to combine the two practices to display and promote children's work, but offer them further guidance in their learning or their next steps. This guidance for me needs to be through questioning. I now know that I need to display what is classification and get these children to annotate the display with their answers using post-it notes. The collective responses from my class was quite impressive though, through the use of technology. I have received qualitative data that isn't skewed because the technology has personalised the process for my children. This is what the children want to see. Next steps to be typed up, perhaps in a Twinkle format or the like. Photocopied examples of children's work from their exercise book. Children to have post-it notes to ensure the display is a working and valid document for all to use. Mind maps that are teacher-led to show current and future learning. Colour. They want the displays to pop out, as was mentioned in a previous slide. So what have we done? We've done exactly this. And this is now our new school policy. They don't want to see Twinkle displays. They want to read questioning that supports and challenges their learning. They want to see how their peers have achieved in areas of the curriculum where they have felt they have been less successful. They want to learn from others in what they could be perceived as a collaborative approach to learning and display. They want to see thinking routines that help them to understand the curriculum that they are currently working in, and where this learning will help them in the future. This was a valuable experience for me and my children, and it couldn't have been achieved without using the thinking routines in collaboration with technology. It certainly transformed the learning environment in a Year 6 classroom at the Royal Kent School. Thank you.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much, Joe.